Well, hi, and thank you for joining us for the OLBG 5 to follow for the weekend. We're back again. Some brilliant racing this weekend. You've got some good stuff in Ireland. We've got the Tingle Creek at Sandown, the Beach Chase at Aintree. We're mentioning all those races and giving you a couple of horses to follow, some very obvious ones and some that maybe are a little bit more under the radar and we can get a bit of value about, which is what our members are always hunting for. They've given me some suggestions that I'm going to talk about with you guys today. Last week didn't do too well with the Hennessy. Safed Aru didn't do too well and has been put back over hurdles. Interesting to know your thoughts. Do you think that horse will go well in the World Hurdle this year? Obviously did okay previously and reverts back to hurdling for the season. But we'll leave last week there and we'll move on. Now the first horse we're going to look at is actually trained by the same trainer who trained Safed Aru, Paul Nicholls. He looks to have a really strong hand, as he does most Saturdays, and this weekend is no exception. The first horse of his I want to look at is currently second favourite in the market for his particular race, just behind Bristol de May, who heads the market at 2-1. We've got As de Me, who is a 7-2 shot. Horse is a very exciting novice chaser. Good form at Sandown, won a decent hurdle race here, and when you think the horse recently beat a Grade 2 winner, now, that doesn't happen too often. I would always err on the side of caution with these kind of events, but at 7-2, the horse looks a great bet, and it was suggested by one of our members that we should really try and get the favourite beaten. As the Mace has been seen this season, finishing behind more of that as well. A very good horse, a very decent yardstick as well. Beaten by Cocktails at Dawn, another horse a lot of you will know, and of course Native River, who we mentioned, horse finished ahead of that at Chepstow on the 10th of October and did really well to do that. That horse has gone on to win the Grade 2 at Newbury and beat plenty of horses that were talked about. So as to me, around 7-2, I think you might see this horse go off favourite on Saturday and Bristol de May will drift in the market. Paul Nicholls is a fantastic trainer. Always tends to pick up winners on these big televised Saturday races. So As de Me is definitely one to put in your notebook for the weekend. I'd love to know what you guys are following for the weekend. You can do that by just following us on Twitter and replying to some of our tweets that we put out on there, or add your comments on this video. We're going to do this every week, highlighting the big horses in the big races, so it'd be great to get your view on those. We must move on, and one of the biggest events this weekend will be the Tingle Creek, and we're going to have a very short favourite. Underso will line up for Willie Mullins, current favourite for the Queen Mother Champion Chase at Cheltenham in March, and a very short price already. Even if he wins this race, I don't see how the bookies can cut him much shorter. You're looking at a very skinny price on Saturday there, 8-13. A lot of the OLBG members I've spoken to write tips for our app or blog on our website. They really like the horse, but they just think he's too short as a backing proposition. I think a lot of people are worried about the exuberant style of the horse. Those fences at Sandown are some of the most notorious for jumping, especially down the back with the railway fences. He will have to be at his best. And don't forget, this is the horse's reappearance, which may concern a few people. Seen working after racing recently at an Irish track. Few people didn't seem too impressed with him then, but a lot of Willie Mullins, as he has reported, do need the run. However, this horse, the style of racer he is, he's difficult at home, which means the trainer thinks he's fresh enough to go straight to a big race like this. In all likelihood, should win the race, but it's going to be very difficult to justify lumping on at a short price. There's some others that have come for mentions. Vibrato Valtat in the market there's proved a little bit popular. Obviously, we don't have Nicky Henderson's star horse. We didn't think we'd see Sprinter Sacre in it, and it's been proven right. Our members were pretty conclusive. They'd be surprised to see him at Sandown. But we should get a run in before the Cheltenham Festival, and it'd be great to see those two both at their peak going head-to-head in the Queen Mother Champion Chase. I'd love to get your views on who you think comes out on top. For me, it's Underso all day. I think Sprinter Sacre, whilst he did well for his comeback win, I'm backing Underso in that match bet. Love to get your thoughts on that. So we'll pop over to Ireland and talk about, I should say, a different Irish trainer. And this is Shark Hanlon, who runs Hidden Cyclone, a 10-year-old a lot of you will be familiar with. The horse feels like he's been around for an awful long time. He's been pretty talented. He's done all sorts. Seem to remember Patrick Mullins winning a maiden flat race in the summer with this particular horse. Came back and won, did okay, didn't have too much to beat in the race, and is around 13-2 to win a race that is headed by Willie Mullins, short price Jackadan, who you've got to argue may need the run. I wouldn't be so keen to back him, especially at the trip. I think Jack Adams' Gold Cup exploits show that the horse is best over a longer distance. This is possibly not going to be the right conditions for him to be shown at his best. Whereas Hidden Cyclone, I don't think you can have any doubts around the trip. It's an interesting race, and there's certainly horses to keep an eye on. If Falsalido turns up, Gilgam Boa as well, Clarkham, and of course the forgotten horse Flemenstar that so many people expected big things from. But Hidden Cyclone, he has been a real flag bearer for the stable. Stan James at the moment are a standout 13-2 price. You get as short as around 5s elsewhere. I personally think it's the horse of the race. It's the value play. If you do like the idea of an each way bet, I suppose he's pretty much nailed on to make the frame. And he's got a great travelling engine. He's shown that on the flat or even in the Galway Hurdle, which he reverted back to last summer. It'd be great to see that horse do well for what is one of the slightly smaller yards in Irish racing. Shark Hallen, probably not most people will associate him with this horse, and it'd be great to see them have another good day. But now we must head to Aintree, where there's some fantastic racing. And I suppose one of the features of the weekend will be the Grand Sefton. Double Ross for Nigel Twiston-Davies currently heads the market. You saw this horse fourth in the Paddy Power Gold Cup. Has run at Aintree before and seemed to enjoy these style of fences. At 7-1, I think you don't want him to get any shorter. If you feel like you need to back him, he heads the market at the moment. There will be plenty that are in there that won't be running as well, which will be a concern to lots of you out there. I personally think that Nigel Twiston-Davies is great at these kind of races. He loves to fire one at the big fences, and he tends to get results as well. His record isn't too bad. But you look through the list, there's plenty in there that may not run, have second engagements. The likes of Falsalido you may not see turn up. I'd be surprised if you get enough to really warrant 4 places each way. I think it'll be less than 16 runners. With that in mind, you may want to go rush out and take the 7-1. We are filming this ahead of time. But it'd be great to see Nigel Twiston-Davies have another big winner, really, because his yard could do with one, I think. The new one's back. Whether that's going to be a champion hurdle contender or not is up for debate. Not for me at the moment, and plenty of our members will be willing to oppose him. But Double Ross was one that they all had their eye on and felt he could go well. The record at Cheltenham is actually really good as well, so you might want to keep that one in your notebook for next time he's seen. If he does miss this race or if he doesn't perform at Aintree, you may want to wait for him to go back to Cheltenham, where he puts in pretty good round of jumping as well. Now, our final tip. You're going to struggle to beat a better value tip if this one comes in at the weekend. You can currently get around 25-1 for this horse to win the race, albeit the horse is a little bit difficult to get a win from. I suppose you could say comes with a bit of a health warning, and it's a Paul Nicholls trained horse, Montperrin. Seen this horse finish 11th in the National, and I think has some very strong form based around, if you go back to Cheltenham last year on New Year's Day, this horse beat a stablemate called Just a Par that was seen running really well at Sandown under Sean Bowen, who got a great tune out of him to land a big prize. You also had in there St. Eyre, who ran so well in the Grand National. If replicating that form that was at a race at Cheltenham over the big fences, I think he would be a huge price at 25-1. I appreciate there's plenty of if, buts and maybes in the way. I don't necessarily think the horse is unsuited to the track and the fences, but he hasn't shown enough to think that the trainer won't want to run him here again. So he's giving him another chance. I think he goes well, quite fresh, and it'll be a fascinating renewal. It's always a great race. And don't forget, big priced horses win the Beecher. You only have to look at last year's runner, around 33-1. These horses, they do tend to be slightly older, slightly more educated, and they have... I like one that's been around the block a little bit. He feels bound to be popular if he shows up. Pindaree may be another one, obviously with his background. St. Eyre, another one. There's plenty in there that have got the experience. But you just have to feel and wonder if at 25-1, Paul Nicholls, he may have the National in mind again. But I think this horse could be seen to good effect on Saturday in the Beecher and around 25-1. Listen, if the horse turns up at that price, you're going to get a fair run for your money, and he should get round looking at his record. That's our 5 for the weekend. Don't forget, you can add yours by commenting. Take us on, give us 5 horses and tell us which 5 you are most looking forward to seeing. Subscribe to the channel. We've got more content coming up, as we lead up towards the Cheltenham Festival. Obviously, OLBG are massive fans of the Cheltenham Festival. We sponsor the Mayor's Race and we have our Mayor's Series, and we have got a really big race upcoming at Cheltenham for the international meeting. We'll talk about that more a little bit next week. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, like our videos, give us your comments, and yeah, fingers crossed we've given you some winners. Thanks for watching.